So Artisan champagnes are high quality champagnes with a lot of personality. That's how I would summarize it. So Artisan champagnes, this is not an official term. I personally started to use this in 2012 or so. And my point was that I want to differentiate some of the growers that produce exceptional quality from the majority, because if you just say grower champagne, it means as much as you say good champagne. Good champagne for me is much different than good champagne is for you. So there is something, an artisan is more how they make, because they produce such small quantities, just from a couple of thousand of bottles to, let's say, 10, 30, 40,000 bottles. 30,000 is quite common, and they own a couple of hectares from where they produce. And it's more about the philosophy that they have. That is the interesting part for me from artisan champagnes. You have, and the artisan champagnes, they are organic, they do organic farming or biodynamic farming. I don't like those terms because they are so widely used. So if you just say biodynamic, it doesn't mean anything in that sense. There's so much of you need to understand more. So that's why the artisan champagne was a good category, and I think it has been catching on. I'm not sure if I was the first one to use that, but now I see much more people using that, and I like that term to be used. It differentiates, and I would say there is let's say around 150 producers. Maybe can be a bit more in these days. Somehow converting their vineyards into organic and entering that zone. But it's and from those, I would say there is, like, let's say 10 or so that or 15 that outstanding quality beyond everybody else. Of course, they've been into it from a long time. Example, if we start to talk about Georges Laval, they started to convert their vineyards into organic in 1971, so way over 50 years ago. And 70s was the dark era of chemicals, where everybody was into it because you get a larger yield and easier work with the pesticides and everything. The problem is that if you take a lot from the land using chemicals, you also take the life out of it, and then after a while it won't be good. The one thing I love about the artisan champagnes is the fact that they use old vines, single vineyards. They go against everything the big champagne houses, which is blending all over from champagne. They go to details, to mixing a couple of plots into all, just showing this one plot doing a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand bottles from that. And I think that is just absolutely beautiful. In a sense of, if you think of Burgundy and the microclimates, the artisan champagnes do pretty much the same. So there's a lot of common things in Burgundy and Champagne, and when you understand the one, you can understand more of the other, and then you just drink both and you understand much more. It is also actually interesting that, example, when we go and talk more about Louis Reiler, which is one of the producer introductions I'm doing, they are actually the largest holder of organic and biodynamic vineyards. I think there are over 100 hectares now, when usually some of the producers, they own just a couple of hectares. So it is intriguing that one house is built on the both sides. It's very fascinating. And also there's an association like the ACB that represents 167 wine growers, and one of them is Röder, but mainly they are the small ones like Le Clapat, Laval. And from the artisan champagnes, the most known artisan champagne is easily Jacques Sellos, because he started from the 90s and he developed the style of the oxidation on the Chardonnay, which is like basically bubbling Burgundy. And he has a cult-like following, and the bottles are costing thousands of euros now. And in a sense, I like his wines also. It's not my favorite thing to drink, but I do like, and I do understand where everything goes. And the problem is, he's actually one of the big producers. He does over 50,000 bottles. But if you go to some of like Emmanuel Brochet, which is around 8,000 bottles, or David Leclavard, which is around 12,000 bottles, all of these have a cult-like following. And the cool part is that when you are an artisan grower, you can just do champagne that you like in a way that you like, and you just need to find a couple of thousand of people or a couple of importers that like your champagne. And these champagnes, they are exported to over 50 countries. So imagine a production of, let's say, 10, 20,000, or for one wine, 1,000 bottles, and then divide that with 50 countries, so a couple of 100 of bottles on each country, and then divide that with the restaurants, the private customers, everything. there is not that much to go. But I like that because people need to understand that champagne growers, they're farmers. Their product is just grapes, and then there's the winemaking aspect of that. Then they need to do branding. The same as I do with my books, like my Dom Pérignon book. Why I choose that? Because there is a small niche people that like Dom Pérignon. Everybody knows about it, but I don't have a single doubt that I won't be selling my editions throughout time, because the book is amazing and it's for this small crowd. And if you think the price is too much, or you don't like Dom Pérignon, you don't understand that, it's okay, the book is not for you. It's for the people who like that. And actually for those people, these videos are possible, because people who buy my books also watch my videos. So that's why people can also watch these for free. And that's why the next years I'm going to be making cool videos, because I am independent and free to do that because of my books. So if you like my content, buy a book. The artisan champagne producers mainly produce their champagnes as extra brut or brut nature, which means that as little as possible is interfered on the wine, and you actually get to taste the terroir, and the work is done at the vineyards, let's say so. And the bigger houses, of course, vineyards are important, but the art of blending is the biggest thing on there. As I said before, it's a lot of single vineyards and small parcels from this village, all this niche. And I would say the artisan champagnes usually start around from 90 points. Of course, there are some that I would rate much, much less, but it is just because I don't like that style or that particular producer's how the cuvées taste, but that's my thing. And it doesn't mean that if I say that I don't like this one or I like that one, that your opinion and your taste is the same. That's why you need to taste a lot. You need to taste pretty much everything to have an opinion. And that's what people should do more. Taste, drink, and start to learn to trust your own taste and listen less to experts. The one thing that is intriguing with the artisan champagnes is the aging potential, because I feel and I know that majority of them are ready to drink when they launch, and they are like, now you have from Le Clapart, you have the 20 vintage L'Amateur or something that is beautiful. Of course, it's going to age for 4 years, even around 10 years, but I would say in general, no more than 10 years. There are some exceptions, of course, there's always exceptions, but artisan champagnes you can drink much, much younger than you can do with the traditional style of champagnes, and I think that's a good thing for us wine drinkers. But basically for all the artisan champagnes, it would be cool to have it 2 years post disgorgement, a minimum of 1 year, and usually they put on the back of the labels the disgorgement dates, because when you do disgorgement, it is basically a surgical operation for the wine. You take something out, you put something in. It needs time to balance, then it's shipped, so it shakes around. So it's good to let the wine rest and age a bit in the bottle. There's not enough talk about this, and I want to raise awareness. Awareness is a thing of today, and my awareness raising is for post-disgorgement aging of the bottles. It's so important. Tell everybody. One thing is also there, because you have the cult-like followings of people, usually those people are the most humble ones, the ones that are the most, in a way, cool people. And then you have the people who have the egos. And when you have egos, it usually means that there is less quality in the final product, because you're having an ego. And also if you have an inflated high price, you can compensate with that ego. So that's one of the things to be aware. And especially if somebody says this is good, just taste it before you believe it. That's my advice for you. And also there's a lot of experimental stuff, so be aware of that. It means that some people, like, if you know what you're doing, you can do experiments. It's same, for example, for dress codes and stuff. People are now so breaking the dress codes and they don't even know what the dress code is. And that's how you should not do it. You just should know the basics, and then you can go on your own way and find your own way. So there's a lot of this, and especially less in champagne because it's so tightly controlled. But so artisan champagnes are high quality champagnes with a lot of personality. That's how I would summarize it. And